The shocking truth about fraud and reality TV is about to be revealed. You won't believe how often it's become a storyline on Real Housewives, and the audacity of these stars. But here's where it gets controversial. They actually think they can get away with it. On October 9th, Wendy Osefo, a star of Real Housewives of Potomac, and her husband, Eddie, were arrested for insurance fraud. This isn't an isolated incident. Fraud has become a recurring theme in the Real Housewives universe. Entertainment attorney Angela Angotti, co-host of the Bravo Docket podcast, explains, "The optimism bias of reality TV personalities is similar to that of criminals who believe they won't get caught." In 2024, the Osefos claimed their Maryland home was burglarized, but police say it was all a sham. They even had social media evidence against them. Shah, another Real Housewives star, was arrested on screen and is now serving time for a nationwide telemarketing scheme. Teresa Giudice, from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, spent 11 months in prison for bankruptcy fraud, and her ex-husband, Joe, served 3 years for fraud and tax offenses. But it's not just these stars. Others like Erika Jayne and Vicki Gunvalson have faced civil lawsuits for fraud. More than a dozen housewives stars have been arrested for various offenses. Angotti believes reality TV can create a sense of invincibility. Stars sign contracts that give up control over their portrayal, and this may lead to a false sense of security. The Real Housewives has always showcased aspirational lifestyles, but the displays of wealth have become increasingly extravagant. When the Real Housewives of Orange County began in 2006, it featured struggling single moms alongside affluent women. But Erika Jayne's entrance in 2015 brought a new era of ostentatious wealth. Jayne traveled with her glam squad and claimed extravagant expenses. She later divorced her husband, Tom Girardi, and was named in a fraud lawsuit. A judge ruled she had no knowledge of her husband's dealings, but Girardi was sentenced to 7 years for embezzlement. On Bravo, criminal charges don't always mean the end of a career. Shah stayed on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for a season after her arrest, and Teresa Giudice wrote a memoir about her prison experience and returned to the show. "Viewers like to see redemption arcs," says a source. "When there's ownership of the mistake, it's easier to forgive." But not every housewife gets a happy ending. Recently, Page 6 reported that Shah will be released early in 2026, but Andy Cohen has expressed he doesn't want to see her again. The future is uncertain for Wendy Osefo. A source says it's in the hands of the law now. Wendy and Eddie were portrayed as responsible professionals, but fans noticed a transformation. Law enforcement found the Osefos were burdened by substantial debt. Angotti wonders, how could these smart people execute such a poor crime? The fallout has been swift. Wendy resigned from her teaching position, and Eddie's law license is at risk. The Osefos rep says they're grateful for fan support and eager for their day in court. This story is a reminder that reality TV can be a double-edged sword, and sometimes the consequences are very real.